Grab your glass, put that water. Get your picture of that water. Lift that picture of that water. Now pour you. Drink, 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 drink. Drink, 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 drink. Now move your body and drink some water. Oh. Now move your body and drink some water. Oh. Now move your body and drink some water. Fam, just move your body. Drink, 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 drink. Drink, 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 drink. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors, fam. Just raise your glass. Drink, 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 drink. Raise, toast, live. Now take your breath and drink some water. Lift your picture, drink some water. Move your body, drink some water. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Breathe, live, move, toast. Stay healthy, remember. Breathe, drink, eat, move. Get some sleep too. Coach can progress for it. But take your breath. Live and pour. Move your body. Toast your ancestors. Drink up with me. Drink, 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 drink. Drink, 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 drink. Lift your glass. Take your breath. And drink your water. All right, family, I want to thank everybody that's tuning in now or tuning in later. It's all cool. I know it's early on Imani, early for some of us, late for others. I have to get ready for the Per Ankh. Per Ankh will be going down today at 11:30 a.m. over at APDS. I think that's 1409 East Livingston Avenue. And we will be having a discussion about Malcolm X. They call it the Sabiat. And me, Brother Kwame, Sister Navita, will be laying it out, you know. Now, y'all know I'm not a historian, so I'm going to keep it with what I know and keep it moving, relating it to Malcolm X and the development of Malcolm X and how, well, I'm just going to say that. I'm going to say that. Also, family, on May 25th, we will be having the Malcolm X Revolutionary Leader Festival, or Malcolm X Revolutionary Festival, or last but not least, the MX Fest, hashtag MX Fest. So y'all can share it like that. If you get the flyer, go on and share it for us. Help us spread the word. We have Mark Lomax, Dr. Mark Lomax, and Eddie Baird will be performing. Brother Dr. Mark Lomax will then do a lecture on revolution and music. Then we're going to be moving into the other parts of the celebration and kicking it. And vendors is going to be out. Food's going to be available. I just found out that somebody going to be frying fish again. Uh-oh. Yeah, but we gonna keep it together. We got Sisters of Fire already registered. Hopefully Sister Jericho will be out there as well. Oh my God, I gotta see, because Sisters of Fire got that Hell Kale. I think it's called Hell Kale or Hell. Real good. Anyway, and they got that veggie jollof rice. Then Sister Jericho got these wraps. Give me some fish, because I think I'm gonna be starting my fast after this weekend. I have it structured. The fast will be starting on 5/27 and ending on 6/16. I got my little pyramid, for the 21 day. Now, the 21 day challenge will be going down. We can talk a little bit about that today. 21 day challenge. You don't have to be set for a certain time. I could walk you through how you do it, how it helps. I'm gonna be doing a food fast for 21 days. So I'm gonna get all my stuff out the way, all my dinners out the way, get all my foods out the way, get everything out the way, so that I could go and dedicate and get myself and get my body honed in. Some of y'all gonna see me shrinking down. I'm gonna get back down to my fighting weight. I'm gonna be looking thin. Don't worry about it. It's a yearly thing. So, and like I said, of course, with your help, I'll be able to push through, right? And tune in, because I'm gonna be, the energy is gonna, as the body and my mind, after the first 3 days, after I get it locked in. Right, so now, the way the fast happens, I have the 21 days set up on a pyramid structure. So of course it'll start on an emoji, and we'll do water and juice for the first 7 days. Then, which will take us to 6/2, 5/27 to 6/2, just water and juice, of course, ambrosia. Then on the moja that following week, which is 6/3, it'll just be water. And then on that Kuchaklia, just water. Then on that Ujima, it'll be a dry day. Then on that Ujima, in that second week, it'll be a dry day. And then on that Nia, it will be a dry day. Then on that Kumba, I'll go back to water. And that Imani, it'll just be water. And then on Emoji, it'll be back to water and juice. That'll be 6/10 all the way through 6/16. Right? Just progression. I'm going up a pyramid and I'm coming down a pyramid. So going up the pyramid is going to be a struggle. And coming down the pyramid is going to be a struggle. And the reason I set it up like that is from my past experiences with fasting. When I just did straight water, it caused problems when I came off. Because during this time, during this 21-day period, this will be my 3rd year doing it, I'll be coming up with some cooking. I bake, I cook, I'm making bread. I don't know what thing I might fall into this time, but last time I was coming up with all types of incredible things to cook and to prepare. So family, today is Imani. I want to say great Imani to you. It's our toast and talk. So I had to get up here a little bit early so that we could do the toast. And if there's anybody that got any subject that you want to talk about, by all means, we could throw it in. We can have that discussion. Lines will be open after we do the toast. So let's go and get this toast popping off. Got my last little bit of this in here. I'm going to go downstairs and get some of that. Got it. And what I'm going to prepare now is when I get back from Per Ankh, I will be cutting up the lemon and the lime and the ginger and getting that cayenne ready for that Justice League. Throw it all in, have it sitting in a, I have 2 gallons, possibly 2 gallons of that. And I'm also thinking about on the next round, because on the 15th I'll start another batch trying to get it ready before the 25th. So I'm going to have some Death Eater, the original Death Eater, not the newer one, because all those Scobies is gone. So I have to go on and just do old school Death Eater. And the Death Eater is dandelion root and burdock root. Since I know where to get some live burdock root, I'm going to get the live burdock root, and I'm going to have some dandelion root, throw it all in there, and let it work. So let's get this toast off. And I'm also preparing a meal for my dish for the per onk, because usually I get up late, so I don't be having time to get everything together. So here we go. Family first. Giving honor to the Creator by whatever name you choose to call that Creator. We lift up our glass and we salute that Creator, and we say, Ashe. From there we move to our list of our ancestors, and we lift up our glass and we salute our ancestors. Hold on. Something's not right, because I'm not getting any sound on my call in conference call. Start over.
You are the first person.
Check 1, check 2. Check 1, check 2.
For the others to join.
Check 1, check 2. Well, it's on. Check 1 is on. Alright, cool. So now we back up. Alright, so here we go to our ancestors. Thank God for lamination. Alright. Calling on. Hold on. Calling on Miles Brown, Miss Ann, Robert and Texana Davis, Herman Brown Sr., Rosalie Tilly, Georgia William Walter, Christopher Fanny Gatson, Aunt Lena, Uncle Chris, Aunt Fiend, Cleveland and Geneva Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Alvaro Brown, Gina Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis, Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Demond Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Fallar, Montague Pimenel, Normal X, Pet Mott Rob, Malika Fakour, Dr. Marianne Williams, Kojo Kamal, Elder Farmer, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusuf Weston, Elder Ajani, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Brocro, Hector Jr., Jay Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling Lucy Wright, Derek L. Pulley, and the Luxor brother, Miss Eda Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kiel Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Triggs, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Nana Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Rennerman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Louis Henderson, Kevin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Kellen D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Del Hodge Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bert Beatty, Sarah Weller, Vita Farmer, I Go, So Sue, Shell Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Aunt Evelyn, Theolis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thornton, Pearl G. Thornton, Ada Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Erica Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, Mary Esther Keachela Reese, Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles Watson, Sparrow, Slimmy, Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mildred Orange, Booker T. Bolton, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hitter Pearson, Sturgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavinia Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mary Moss, Sophia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kennedy, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quells, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quells, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.C. Johnson, Dorita Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W. West Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry Worrell, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Natalie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martineer, Elder Amitab Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Thelma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey and Eleanor Howe, Franklin Russell Davis, lost my place. Let's start at James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Natalie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martineer, Elder Amatep Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Thelma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey and Eleanor Howe, Franklin Russell and Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Vena Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy, D'Amico Russell, Dilimon Aries, Jean and Ruth Jones, Jana Callahan. Great Imani to you as well, Brother Kwame. You ready? William Walter West, Nigel Paris, Elder Basiji Fulani, Jim Robinson, Gladys Johnson, Valerie Clark, John and Mary Sullivan, Dirk Johnson, Antonio Johnson, Delise Waters, DeFriedis Hines, Inez Bostic, Edna Bostic, Winifred Scantleberry, Wilson Hadley, Elma Hines, Phyllis Lee, Eugene Spratling, Calvin Spratling, Charles Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Printup Jr., Marion Johnson, Wilbur Longmire, Edith Catney, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Pena Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Dorothy R. Blair, Ransom Evans Sr., Sam Evans Sr., Nalon Blair Sr., Edward Stevens, Sue Ann Stevens, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rose Mary Charles, Ada Pearl, Bob Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren M. Finch, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Jennifer Sensenball, Hazel Gadsden, Jerry Brantley, Brian Watson Jr., Kaniko Parsons, Jason Kathy Bradford, Thomas Bradley, also known as Uncle Buki, also known as Gypsy, Reverend Roosevelt Word I, Stacy Trice, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Leonard, David Brown, Ruth Carter, June Cox, Ruth Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Irvin, Judy Hubbard, Irene Johnson, Francis Booth Jefferson, Dan Wilkinson Sr., Emma McClendon, Jerry Dorr, Amina Robinson, Mary Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Teray, Greg G2 Gibson, Donna Hill, Richard Glebus, Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Boyd Irby, Jim Gaucher, George and Hallie Johnson, Archie and Margaret Armstead, Diane Scott, Erica Armstrong, Claire Fox, Gene Evans, Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Christy Cottrell, Aunt Becca, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Eula and Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edward Brooks, Gwendolyn and Bob Hatch, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie Harriet Tubman Kate, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron Nino Baby Hatch, Hatch Sr., Mally Miller, Halsey Hatch, Dad Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alex Nixon, John Bowie, Lester and Rachel Saunders, Dorita Ross, Riola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Neely Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Maddie and Charlie Scott, Ida Casey, Thomas Cooper, Vivian Stevenson, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Francis, Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Martha Ford Dawson, Big Mama, Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Harrison, Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Leroy Q. Heap Sr., Albert Moore, Miss Manella, Alice Motley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Erleton Houston, Lud Alls, Elijah Alls, Jerome Alls, Henry West Stanton, Joe Jamel Alls, Ann Pierce, Donald Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Ben Vaughn, John Dewey, Ruth Beard, Tim Butler, Ramey Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., Baba Naeem, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Brantley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Muriel Ellis, Elizabeth Sanders, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown, Charles Walker Sr., Charlie Walker, Cecil Russell, Diane Irvin, Haroon Phillips, William Ford, Margaret Logan, Phyllis Barnett, Lee Irvin Sr., Michael Irvin, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Caldwell Sr., Robbie Lee Caldwell, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easley, Rayshawn Easley, Javea McCormick, Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Shekel Maha Reed Jr., John Reed Jr., Patricia Reed, Edward R. Benson Sr., Ethel H. McNair, Lois Fernandez, Jacqueline Broadus, Reginald Oliver, Mazarin Coker, George Swan, Edmonia Grayson, Charles Scott, Charles H. Scott, Michael Morgan, Charlie Morgan, Sybil Edwards McNabb, Andy Ferguson, William Ferguson, Shelby McClendon, Joella Giles, James Carswell, Liberta Adams, also known as Aunt Sis, Elder Shaka McNair, Anthony Brown, Jonathan Ford, Lonnie Gaucher, Cousin Tony, Michael Johnson, James Jimmy Johnson, Barbara Shang Lewis, Ronald Shelton Jr., Damian Top, Westina Banks, Joseph Bingham, Quincy, Mama, Aunt Lady, Abraham Isaac Cundum, Aunt Barbara Lewis, Renee Johnson, Joy, Ryan Ross Riggins, Jamonte Price, Ness Words, Marshawn McCarroll, Demetrius Beard, Herb Jefferson, Ralph Mickens, Eric Walker, Quasi Sample, Candace Simmons, Severin Clayton, Leonard Jones, Sade Garner, Melvin Scott Sr., Elder Clarence Lumpkin, Elizabeth Johnson, Frank Smith, Stacey Trice, Denise Goray, Nathaniel Hassan Turner, Khalid Dessin, Nigel Turner, Demetrius Lewis Flint, Albert Woods, Geneva Simmons, Daniel Tilley, Angeline Gatt, Sharifa, Oscar Kane, Audrey Gripper, Dominique Nichols, Ruth Elaine Johnson, and Teresa Sambo. All right. We lift up our glass and we salute all of our ancestors, all of our combined ancestors, knowing that hell for an African is being forgotten. And family, we pledge never to forget our ancestors and to learn and glean from their lives and their lessons and their wisdom that they left us with, and remember them. And we lift up our glass and we say, Ashe. From there, family, where do we go? Of course, you know where we go. We head towards the present moment. Right now, we are on Imani. And I'm saying, family, activate those reticular formations, because it is our job to find our principles. We have to learn how to see our principles in action, right? Imani, for those that don't speak the language, means faith. Faith is the Goose Saba today. The demonic principle today is harmony. What we teach the children, as far as the M7, is trust. The color is red. Didn't go get my red shirt this morning. Felt like donning the Gye-Nyame, even though this is not our official Gye-Nyame. This is an official Gye-Nyame, but this is not Gye-Nyame Journey's official Gye-Nyame. Speaking of that, let me pull out my rank beads and let me pull out my Gye-Nyame over here. Got to have that Gye-Nyame representing, right? The Hermetic law today is gender. Male name today is Quasi. Shouts out to the Quasis. It's your day, Quasi, right? Female Akosua. Once again, we put the call out. We need representatives for each day, right? So those out here, we already know Kwame shout out his day every time he posts up, because Kwame is right there. I'm a Kwabena. I want everybody. I need at least 2 people on each day, right? So that I know who in the family has that, so find your day name. What day of the week were you born on? Powerful stuff, right? So we raise up our glass to this present moment, and raising up our glass, we acknowledge that we are keeping our pact with our ancestors, never forgetting them, learning from their wisdom, using it to empower us in this moment, taking that information and that wisdom that they left us, expanding upon it, building upon it, going deeper with it, taking it higher, right? So that we can go on and lay a foundation for the future generation. And that's our pact for them, that we are laying a foundation upon which they could build their pyramids to greatness. We are becoming the fertilizer out of which they will be able to grow. We raise our glass and we salute this present moment, and we say Ashe. From there, we move to our children, our children's children, on to infinity. We toast them, and we don't remember them. What would it call? Remember means go back. So pre-member, I guess that would be it. We pre-member them, right? We raise up our glass to them in advance, and let them know that we're doing the work that's necessary so that you will be able to spread your wings and fly. So we raise our glass up for our children, our children's children, on to infinity. Family, from there we move to all of our relations, and we toast and we say Ashe. From all of our relations, you know where we go. From all of our relations, we simply take a simple step and we move to that But we call that selfish thoughts, family. This is for you. What is it that you need in this moment, right now, in order to move towards your best you? You got it? Ashe. From there, family, right now, I toast the most marvelous, magnificent, beautiful, uplifting, inspiring, strong, courageous, brave, intelligent, inspiring, motivated individual in the room. It happens to be you. So I lift up my glass to you and I say, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Family, I wish you peace, power, and joy in 100 years. And lines are now open because we got a couple of minutes. And I want to make sure that we are able to do our Imani toast and talk. We spoke a little bit yesterday. We got some stuff that we could chop up. I know some of y'all got some stuff on your mind. You can call in. Lines are open, 614-556-4535. I'm going to go through some announcements real quick. And also, let's see. Let me put the number up there, 614-556-4535. I'm out here waiting. Let's post it up on the family in hold on. Make sure this is charging. We don't want it to go dead on us. There we go. 614-556-4535. Pow. There we go. So it's up on all of our stations if you want to call in. So until somebody call in, let's do this. So we got people posting up. Now I haven't figured out how to put my the group, because I need people to understand there is a difference between the group and the page. The group is private, so you get in there and you can just go the fuck off if you want, because there's a limited amount of people in there and you can't pull nothing out and share it, right? The page is open, right? And I mean, like I said, people are posting stuff up, and I appreciate that because somebody posted up some good information yesterday, and I want to share it. All right, and I don't know who did it. They did it in the name of Gye-Nyame, but whoever put it up, I want to thank you. This is about this stuff called Manuka honey. Now, family, I want you to understand this about honey, right? It's high in sugar. Hold on, let me get some. This ambrosia been aging with us for a while. Woo, oh, hell no. That's messed up. My speaker went out. Punk ass speaker. Now I'm going to have to probably start the whole call over again. Anyway. Punk ass speaker, man. Battery just went dead on me. So hopefully, if not, we could set it up. But it's talking about Manuka honey. And the reason Manuka honey over the last few years has been receiving accolades. Now, because we have to be very clear about the hustle. The hustle, family. Everybody hustling. This honey is uniquely made in Australia or New Zealand, and it's rare. Right, so the price is high. They give you these little ass containers, and everybody is hyped over Manuka honey. But most of the properties, if not all the properties, because I don't have a laboratory to test, but most of the properties that are present in raw Manuka honey. Now, let me state this: whenever you are dealing with honey, family, it's always best to get raw. And what do I mean? What happens is that in this culture, we strive to purify everything, pasteurize everything, and not only pasteurize but kill all of the microorganisms, right? because and some microorganisms are harmful to us. But in doing that, what we are doing is we are weakening our immune systems, right? Our immune system need to be challenged. As a matter of fact, our immune systems are anti-fragile. Now, you have a concept of fragile. We all know what fragile is. Now, this is a concept coming from Nassim Taleb, right? In his book called Anti-Fragile. You have fragility, you have things that are fragile. This means like my glass. My glass is fragile. That's why I rarely travel with it, because it only takes one drop and this glass is done. It's fragile. Then you have those things that are robust, like my punk ass speaker right here. I could drop this in a pool. I can slam it on the table and it's gonna be all right. It's still gonna work, right? It's robust. It takes a lot to break it. But then you have those things that are anti-fragile, where unlike the fragile thing that when pressure or unforeseen event happens, it's destroyed. A robust thing can stand through pressure and shocks and drops and be put in different conditions and be all right. But the anti-fragile thing becomes stronger as it is exposed to stressors. Now, you can put too much stress on it and it'll break. An anti-fragile thing is something that grows from stress. You know what I'm saying? It grows from pressure, right? It gets stronger, it gets better. And that's the way your body is in a lot of ways. That's the way your immune system is. So it needs the stressors so that it can build up. All right, so that it gets stronger. And by us using a lot of these products that we use, the Clorox, bleaches and all that, and using all that shit we're overusing it. We are not allowing ourselves to be exposed to some of those bacteria and some of those things that will help our immune system become stronger. And in fact, the very bacteria and stuff that we are spraying that shit on, a lot of it is anti-fragile. These motherfuckers are getting stronger. Because I want you to think about this. We talked about this before. If Clorox bleach and all these other things kill 99.999% of germs and bacteria, what happened to that 0.00001% that survive? It becomes stronger. Super stronger. Right? So we have to be very clear on this. Now, so going back to our immune system. Our immune system needs to be attacked because the more it is used, the stronger it becomes. Now, there can be some stresses that can be too much for it, but our children going outside and playing and eating dirt. Like Sasha, goddamn, I have to ask Sasha, baby, everything don't go in your mouth. Everything. You don't know where that icicle been. Please drop it now. Please drop it. Okay. That's not your lip gloss. Give me. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? But our children going out and playing in the dirt and getting dirty and being exposed to stressors. Their bodies are anti-fragile. Like one of my little brothers was making fun of me yesterday because his baby fell asleep in my grandniece fell asleep in his arms and she was all twisted up. And I started laughing. I said, man, you got your baby all twisted up. He said, man, shut up. The way you be bending up babies. Because one of the things that I noticed was that, my wife told me about, because Cleveland was born in Ghana, and she said that every day her mother used to massage Cleve and stretch him, right? Boom, stretch him out, and he would be screaming. And she said, why? Why you doing that to him? She said it keeps him safe. So she's stretching him out after coming out the womb, and for years she would stretch Cleve out. So when Cleve came to America, Cleve was able to do full splits and jump off of shit and not get hurt, and you know what I'm saying? And it's like by using the body, we build it up, right? So, saying all that to say this. When we use things like honey, honey becomes dangerous when we pasteurize it. Let me tell you why. Because sugar, just the sugar by itself, in it, we know that sugar is a main food source for a lot of diseases that we have. So when I'm doing the ambrosia, what I decided to do, rather than do the regular kombucha using sugar, because basically the bacteria and yeast will have to come from just the SCOBY in order to get the process going, right? So then I'll be just giving sugar water to my people. I decided to use raw honey. Why? Because raw honey is full of bacterias and enzymes and yeast and I know some of y'all like and mold, and I mean it's alive in there. So when you put that in there with the SCOBY becomes stronger and the batch becomes stronger because you got all of these things working together to ferment, to digest the sugars that are in the drink. Now, what is it about honey? Honey, if you was to take some raw honey, not that sugar shit, but the raw honey, and you had a cut, any raw honey, you could take that honey and you could put it on the cut, and that shit will act like hydrogen. It would do better than hydrogen peroxide. As a matter of fact, it'll help it heal faster. You could use it on burns, and then when you take your raw honey, right, it feeds that microbiome that's in you. So now, back to the Manuka. The Manuka honey is, and I don't have the studies to prove it, but I believe it's hype because it comes from a certain country and it's, you know, so of course you're supposed to hype your shit up, right? The best honey for you is local honey. And what I strive to get is local Ohio honey for Ohioans, so that one, you get all the benefits from the honey that is nearest you. Manuka honey is excellent for those that live where Manuka is. Australia, New Zealand, and all that shit, right? So don't necessarily believe that the Manuka honey is better for you. And that's some of the problems with a lot of the herbs that we're using, because a lot of the herbs that we're using are not from the environment that we are in, right? Where those herbs are able to build up within the environment that you exist in, the things that you need. The herbs in our area actually serve us. We are part of a whole organism in the area in which we live. So it's best to use those things that come from where you are. This is why I be telling people about the burdock root and the dandelion root, because you can find those everywhere. And if need be, to get the best dandelion root and the best burdock root, you have to go out and do some foraging so that you could go and find the best ones for you, because they're right in your neighborhood. It might be a patch of overgrown a lot or houses that you can go around, and if you really need those herbs, you can actually go out there and find them, right? As a matter of fact, there's a lot of food out here that we call weeds that we don't use. But let's get to this Manuka honey. Back to the Manuka honey. So I just wanted to preface that with that before I started. Oh my God, how did that pop up? Well, damn, Manuka honey. I'll be surprised. I mean, well, you know, I'm actually not surprised, but all types of crazy shit be popping up when you be on the internet. I just got a shocker, got an eyeful, right? All right, so let's go. Manuka honey is killing every kind of bacteria scientists throw at it, even the superbugs. And this is generally true about all raw honeys. I just don't want y'all to think that it's the Manuka. I don't want you to go out and spend the extra money on Manuka honey when we have local suppliers of honey in Columbus, Ohio, or in your city, and you possibly, honey, think about this. Producing honey is one of the, I ain't gonna say easiest, but if you get enough beehives, dog, you talk about pimping. You know what I'm saying? Listen, the bees go out and they do all the work. They make plenty of extra honey, and all you got to do is go out, put on a suit, spray some smoke, pull the honey out, and extract the honey. They do all the work. All they need is a space and a place where they could live that's safe from predators and other things trying to break into their stuff. Man, listen, how much easier could nature make it? The health benefits of raw, unprocessed honey are well known, but in Australia, scientists recently made a startling discovery. That one particular obscure type of honey is capable of killing just about everything scientists throw at it, including some of the worst bacteria known to man. I'm telling you, this is all honeys. But of course, they're going to hype up the Manuka piece because remember, I keep telling you, every people needs a staple. A staple. Honey is a staple. And this honey is a major business for whoever put this, whoever inspired somebody to put this article out, especially Manuka honey. So let's move this over so I can read. The findings were published in the European Journal of Clinical Microbiology and Infectious Disease, June 2009, and could hold special significance at a time when many of the world's top antibiotics are failing, especially against resistant superbugs. The honey in question is known as Manuka honey, which is produced in New Zealand and goes by the name of jellybush honey. The honey has become so popular in the past few years that shortages have been reported. See? Shortages have been reported. People hear about it, boom, think it's going to necessarily, hey, honey is honey. And fake have been reported and fake products have been sold, leading New Zealand Manuka producers to seek trademark protection, similar to French champagne or Scottish whiskey, for example. It's easy to see why, now that the secret is out about this honey's incredible health benefits. Manuka honey kills MRSA and other superbugs. Raw honey from Columbus, raw honey from Cincinnati, raw honey from Cleveland do the same thing, family. Don't be fooled. Sister in the Fire is currently looking for someone to produce honey on our property. Uh-oh. Because depending, how much space? Because I know where to get the hives and all that. Because I'm thinking that might be a good investment for Gye-Nyame. We just need space. Because I was trying to talk them into getting one at the school, but the liabilities are just a little bit too brutal. Because them kids don't care. They gonna come over there throwing sticks at the beehive and all that, and then be acting all innocent after they get their ass stung up. I don't know why the bees, they just attacked me. I was over here playing hopscotch, knowing they was throwing rocks at the goddamn beehive, knowing they was messing with the beehive. We know how kids be. Manuka honey is created by bees foraging on nectar of the Leptospermum scorpium, the New Zealand Manuka bush, as well as tea trees native only to Australia and New Zealand. See, now, part of the business is to hype up the value of what you have. This tea and this bush is only found in New Zealand. Let me tell you something about bees. Bees truly are like Gye-Nyame journey. They understand the hustle build muscle. If you think that these bees is just flying to these goddamn bushes, you got me fucked up if I'm supposed to. I'm not gonna believe that. A bee is looking for a flower. Bee sitting out thousands of bees from a hive every day to go out and collect nectar. And you mean to tell me that you want me to believe that these bees is only flying and getting the nectar from these? Come on, man. Bees are ultimate hustlers. You mean to tell me there's no other strange flowers out there that these bees is flying to? Come on, man. Bees is going to get it. They're going to find their pollen wherever they can find it, and they're going to bring it back and take it through the same process all over the world. All bees make honey in the same way. Now, depending on what they feed on, it can have minor differences, but the differences are minor because any honey will kill bacteria and yeast that is not part of it. Honey is so cold that honey does not spoil. I need y'all. I want y'all to really think about this shit. They done found honey in ancient tombs. Honey don't spoil. So imagine what happens when you ingest proper honey. I ain't talking about that Kroger shit. It has to say raw, unprocessed honey, straight from the hive, and that's available in every city. If you have a first aid kit, you need, you know what I'm saying, and you into the natural stuff, honey has to be in that. In the aforementioned studies, Australian researchers found that honey killed every bacteria or pathogen it was tested on, according to a report by the Australian. The honey can be applied topically to help fight against infection of skin, cuts, and insect bites, or taken internally. The most exciting difference with Manuka honey that was tested is that none of the superbugs killed by the honeys were able to build up immunity, a common problem with today's antibiotics. Nature already knows how to deal with something. New antibiotics tend to have short shelf lives, right? As the bacteria they attack quickly become resistant. They're anti-fragile, said Dr. D. Carter of University of Sydney School of Molecular Microbial Bioscience. Many large pharmaceutical companies have abandoned antibiotic production because of the difficulty of recovering costs. Developing effective alternatives could therefore save many lives. According to Dr. Carter, the Manuka honey contains a compound called methylglyoxal that combines with other unknown compounds to cause multi-system failure that destroys the bacteria. Now, just like the SCOBY, the honey is very selective about which bacteria that it will allow to grow. And it just so happened that the bacteria that the honey uses and the process of the honey is good for us. Just like that's in the scobies that we use to make the kombucha or the June or that ambrosia, right? They're very protective, and anything that's trying to get in there, they provide a shield for it, and they immediately begin attacking that shit. Just letting you know, right? So this bacteria that they're talking about also is good for the microbiome, and it will help chase out the shit that don't belong inside of you. Now, where to find the Manuka honey, and we ain't gonna get all into that. So let me check the lines. 1.5 lot. I have to see it because I think we might need to go and we might need to take you up on that offer. I'm just thinking about it because I know where to get the hives now and all that locally and go through a class here. So, all right, since nobody calling in, we had a good conversation yesterday. Hopefully I'll see some of y'all at the per arc. Once again, we'll be doing per arc over at over at APDS at 1409 East Livingston Avenue at 11:30 this morning. The subject the subject will be about Malcolm X, and coming from at least three different angles. Myself, Brother Kwame, Sister Navita will be talking about it. Also, I want to remind y'all that on the 25th, we will be having the Malcolm X Revolutionary Festival, also known as #MXFest. Come on out, family. We got it all together for you. I also got to post a link for those that still want to support us. You can use our Cash App. Is Gye-Nyame Media. Boom. Bow. Or you can hit it at PayPal.me/ I think it's GM. I'm getting old, family. That's it right there. G&J1. You can feel free to donate. Like I said, to help with the Malcolm X Festival, show some support. And all those that have already given support, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, family, since everybody's shy today, I'm going and get up off the air. I'm gonna go make some more rice and wait, let me show y'all what I made for per aunt. Of course, I know I'm a steamer dude. I love steaming. That's rice, mushrooms, squash, onions, red and white, orange and yellow bell peppers, asparagus. Y'all need to come on out. Gonna be eating good. I'm gonna make another batch of this. I got time since nobody calling in. So family, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to send out shots to all those that have been supporting us and working hard to help us move this whole travel thing forward. Always understand, always know that I'm available for conversations or whatever. The lines are open. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to agree with me to call in either. I like a good discussion every now and then. And I need to pour the rest of my water into my thing so they can sit and get ready for us to do our toast tomorrow. And with that, family, I am out. The only thing that's missing is that I am out of palm oil. Right, because I like to throw a little African touch on everything I got. Matter of fact, I got to heat it up, and I pour a little bit in and mix it in, and that's what I'm gonna do. So, family, thank you once again, Miss Cindy Johnson. We'll have to look into this whole lot piece because we got to go and get some. Because I want to build a house somewhere, and since I live in an apartment, it ain't gonna happen. All right. So this brother Hatim, family, I am out. You have a great day.